What's up and welcome to the second episode of the brand new season of Football Everyday, coming to you live once again from Studio V here at the One Utama Shopping Centre in PJ. My name's Nelsen and with me once again, Shebby, Singh and Mr. Ian Yee. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Season has finally gotten underway and I think quite an opening weekend it was, I must say. Let's start with the weekend's biggest result, as I like to call it. I think our predictions came true, Shebs. Your beloved Spurs defeated highly fancied Liverpool by 2-1. Shebs, you must be really pleased with Spurs' performance.
It was. It was a very good performance. I thought there was strength in defence. I thought in midfield was the one area where we dominated for long periods. We seem to have gotten the blend right. At Huddleston and Palacios in central midfield were awesome. And also Robbie Keane playing off the target man and making the fifth man in midfield gave us a lot of advantage. So very, very good start, and I think this time around, I think it will continue.
Okay, what do you think Rafa needs to do with his squad, in your opinion? Judging by that performance.
Well, they lack that link man. We've spoken about Xabi Alonso and how he was going to be missed, and it was true. There was nobody to bring order, into the mayhem that was in midfield. Spurs played a very high-tempo game, and there was nobody who could put his foot on the ball for Liverpool and say, look, we will control the tempo, we are away from home, we will play on the counter-attack. Nobody to set the rhythm and the pattern. So they lacked that, and they didn't look very, very sharp. And for me, it just when Skrtel and Carragher clashed in mid-air, and you thought two very, very good centre backs. They're going for the same ball. That kind of like summed up Liverpool's performance.
Right. I think Gerrard and Torres were off form as well. Ian, in your opinion, did Liverpool deserve to lose?
Yeah, I think so.
You said
got that wrong. I thought Liverpool was going to win.
Right?
Yeah, I just said that to make him mad. But I thought, Liverpool just couldn't cope. I think Huddleston and Palacios, if you want to put those players up against like Lucas and Mascherano, you know who's going to come out tops. So I think that's an area that Rafa really needs to look at. Akulani, who knows? It's kind of hit or miss. He didn't bring in an established name, somebody can fit right in.
Right.
So that's a really worrisome area for him, I think. So in the long run, if Gerrard and Torres don't do the business, and they can't do the business every single game. So if they're off form, there's just nobody that Liverpool can look to at the moment.
Shebs, it's just the first game, but so let's not dig too much into the loss. But could it be the pressure to win? That night, Chelsea, Man United and Arsenal had all won their games, before Liverpool played. Do you think it was a bit of pressure, or do they simply need to get more players?
I think they need to get players. Pressure is something that they should be used to by now. But yes, they need to get top quality players. I know Rafa Benitez goes on about there not being enough money, but if you spend 18 million on a right fullback, and then you spend 18 million on a midfielder, how can you say there's no money?
Who's injured?
Pool the resources together, get a really top class striker in David Villa, for example, to partner Fernando Torres, or go to Madrid and try to get Rafael van der Vaart or Wesley Sneijder. Players who can come in and make a difference.
Okay, well, that's Liverpool done and dusted. Let's move to Chelsea, where I think, the opening game of the season, they beat Hull 2-1, came from a goal down in the last minute. Drogba scored what he admitted was a fluke goal. But Shebs, your thoughts? Did the Blues deserve to win?
I think at the end of the day they did. I thought in the second half they upped the tempo. They played very, very much better. And they just beat Sunderland away from home in their second game last night, 3-1. They came back, from a goal down. So at the moment, everything is fresh. All the players are eager to perform for Carlo Ancelotti. So it's no surprise that they've gotten off to a good start.
Ian, got to ask you, what do you think of Didier Drogba? I think he was key to that win. Scored a Ronaldo-esque free kick to equalize.
I think Didier Drogba is class. With a player like him, and I think Chelsea are full of players like that. That every game that it's hard. It's very rare where you find a game with Chelsea where you say they didn't deserve to win, because they have such competitors in the team. They're so physical. They go all the way for the full 90 minutes, and they have quality. So it's hard to find a game where with quality like that where you feel that they didn't really quite deserve to win. So Didier Drogba kind of epitomizes that. He's fighting all the way to the end. He made a terrible miss right early in the beginning of the game.
First minute of the game.
But he made up for it. So that's really what Chelsea's all about.
All right. Great stuff, guys, as usual, but it is time for our first break here on Football Everyday, so stay tuned as we'll be right back. Welcome back to Football Every Day. Just before the break, we were talking about the weekend's results, and I'll tell you what, who better to talk about Man United than a United fan, right? As always. Ian, Fergie's men were given some nervy moments by newly promoted Birmingham, I'd say, but a win's a win, right?
Yeah, I don't think there were really nervy moments, except for, let's say, from Christian Benitez or Chucho. I think that was the only nervy moment, and that was only because United didn't kill off the game. I thought they lacked pace. I thought they lacked imagination. There was no real thrust to their play. I think the only one that seemed quite urgent about the play was probably Rooney and Fletcher. And apart from that, I just don't think it wasn't a convincing performance at all. I think Fergie needs to boost up the midfield. They need somebody more creative. Right now, Carrick and Fletcher are very workmanlike. There's not much creativity, and they're relying too much on Rooney for the creativity and Giggs when he comes on. So that could be a problem for them.
Sheps, you tend to echo Ian.
No, I disagree. I think Michael Carrick is one of the best playmakers in the world.
Oh, really?
They missed him. Somebody who can play penetrating passes, somebody who can organize the midfield. He is their playmaker. We talk about Xabi Alonso. Michael Carrick, is equally good with his range of passing. So they lack that one player.
I agree with the range of passing, but I think sometimes he lacks the eye for a pass, or the killer pass that you get from the likes of maybe Xabi, or even Xabi Alonso for that matter.
But Chaps, were they good for the win overall?
Well, I thought, yes, we will see Man United eke out a lot of 1-0s. It was, when Birmingham City would have sat there in the dressing room and looked at the lineup and thought, we have a chance here.
Right.
Because, we had key players missing. And that gives the opponents a lot of confidence. And don't forget, Birmingham too have got experience. I was very impressed with Barry Ferguson. I thought, he had a very, very good game. And I was watching Barry Ferguson and thinking, if he was playing for Man United, I think Berbatov and Rooney would have scored, a lot of goals.
Quick one on Michael Owen. I think he missed a one-on-one chance at the end.
To be honest, Nelson, it's just not happening for him at the moment. But that's he had a great opportunity against Valencia in a friendly. He's done the same again in the opening game of the season. But you must say, you've got to look at the sharpness. He just is so sharp. He knows when to go. And when he gets there, it's just that little bit is missing from his game.
It's just a matter of time, I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It seems to be a confidence issue as well,
yeah.
right? He doesn't seem to be playing with that smile on his face.
But that will come.
Hopefully sooner. About Sheps, quick one on Arsenal's 6-1 demolishing of Everton. Sheps,
it was awesome. Right? To win away from home, especially against Everton, who are a very, very strong team. But yes, I was talking, in my mind, it was the fact that Everton looked like they were still 1 week off match sharpness. I think the pre-season preparation must have been a bit slower, whereas Arsenal were flying. And true enough, because Arsenal had this big game against Celtic in the Champions League qualifiers. They only won the first leg away from home. So the preparation period, I think, was the difference. Everton are still a good team.
Okay, and just this morning, Chelsea played again, and they won again too, beating Sunderland 3-1 thanks to goals by Ballack, Lampard and Deco. Sheps, yet again, the Blues came from a goal down. So would you say this is the kind of grit and determination that's necessary to challenge for the title?
It is important, like I said, it's Carlo Ancelotti. They've got to impress him. They're all working hard. The sun is shining, Let's wait until it gets colder. Let's wait for November, December, January. When the legs will start tiring a bit, when Champions League matches will kick in. But simply put on paper, man for man, Chelsea are so much stronger than Sunderland, and this result is not a surprise.
Ian, not a surprise for you as well, I suppose.
Yeah. I agree about that. About things will get tougher in the months to come. For example, that's when Scolari really started to feel he started out pretty well. He was eking out, very workmanlike performances. And they're eking results out.
Deco was flying.
Yeah, Deco scoring some spectacular goals. It seems kind of familiar, right? Like we've been there before. So we'll wait and see.
Okay, and in the other game, very quickly, Mick McCarthy's Wolves came away from the JJB with an excellent 1-0 win over Wigan. Sheps, unexpected result for you?
It is unexpected. It is a big slap in the face for Wigan because they were
given a lot of
they were given too much praise, in my opinion. They're a very depleted squad.
So Wolves deserved winners?
Wolves, to go away from home, to win any game for Wolves, especially since they were promoted, is a great result.
All right, super stuff, guys. But it is time for yet another break here on Football Every Day. But hang on to your seats, as we'll be right back with the third and final segment just before you know it. you're back with us on Football Everyday, where we're going to take a look now at the weekend's upcoming fixtures. But just before that, there are a couple of games happening tomorrow morning. Yeah, so it's going to start with that first. Shebs, we'll start with Liverpool against Stoke at Anfield. Look, Stoke were the bogey team for Liverpool last season, right? I mean, they drew twice against
They were.
But on paper, surely it has to be 3 points.
It's got to be 3 points for Liverpool, and I fully expect them to win that. I mean, Stoke will come with a game plan. They will, as usual, they will rely on the aerial bombardment. But I think Liverpool at home will get that 1 or 2 goals needed.
I mean, and put the loss to Spurs behind them, you think?
I think they will. I mean, they have to, they have to, because I think, and they need to put in a good performance as well, because otherwise, then people would get on their backs.
Score prediction from you, Ian?
I think I have a sneaky feeling that that Stoke could steal something from this game. I do.
Really differing opinions, which is what makes football every day pretty interesting, of course. Let's move on to the next game where Man United travel to newly promoted Burnley. Ian, what are you expecting from this?
1-0 to Burnley.
What I expect and what will happen, I think they're totally different things. I expect it to be a comfortable game. But I think the scoreline probably still be tight like the other day. United will probably dominate again. But like I said earlier, I don't think they have the penetration and the pace yet. They still seem slightly off. So it might be, they'll get chances, they'll be all over the team, but I don't think they'll be scoring that many goals. I can't see it happening.
I mean, Shebs, United to win?
You got to, United have got to be favourites for this. Yes, it might not be a big scoring game, but they will win it.
Again, right, like you said, what Sir Alex Ferguson would expect, this is another one.
I think,
against another newly promoted team in a row. Which he would expect nothing less than 3 points, right?
Yeah, I think he was a bit complacent with his lineup against Birmingham City. And we've seen him do that over the last couple of seasons where he thinks this game is not going to be that difficult and then finds, that he's got to bring his big guns on later to try to win it. So hopefully, he's taken that from Birmingham. Away from home, I think you should treat every opponent with respect.
Okay, and the other 2 games happening tomorrow morning very quickly are Birmingham against Portsmouth along with Shebby's Spurs at Hull City, right? As for the upcoming weekend's matchups, I think the most intriguing would be at Craven Cottage, where Roy Hodgson's Fulham entertain high-flying, in-form Chelsea. Shebs, can you see the Blues getting another 3 points?
I think it's going to be difficult. I mean, what Roy Hodgson has started at Fulham has been very, very good. This year, they look very much stronger as a team. Right. My only fear for Fulham is that they don't have a big enough squad, and sometimes they have problems scoring goals.
Oh, but they've signed Damien Duff though from Newcastle.
Yes, I mean he will provide the width, and he'll love to play against Chelsea, obviously. But I just feel, when you look at the strike forces, obviously Chelsea has the advantage. Yeah. So while I know Fulham will make it difficult, I still see Chelsea sneaking this.
I mean, right, Ian, Fulham over the years generally tend to give Chelsea a run for their money, right? Are you expecting the same?
I think when there's a local derby, that tends to happen. But I still don't think, like I mentioned, Chelsea, they just tend to eke out these results with that. It's a very dangerous combination that they have. It's quality and power. And it's hard to compete with that, especially if you have less quality in your team.
Chelsea win for you then?
Chelsea win.
Score prediction, Chips?
I'm going to go with Fulham 0, Chelsea 1.
Wow, tight game. Okay, just before we sign off, here's this week's Football Everyday fun fact, right? Which is something on our star performers, Wolves, right? Who were excellent against Wigan this morning. Sheps, Ian, this is no BS, all right? But in part reference to Wolves legend Steve Bull, did you know that their fan magazine is called A Load of Bull? Or ALOB for short. I mean, A Load of Bull, Ian.
No, it's great.
Probably
Steve Bull is a legend, never mind what anybody else says. He's a legend. He did wonders for Wolves. It's great that the fanzine is, has got his name in it.
All right, more Football Everyday fun facts for you next week, of course. But it's almost time to go. So very quickly, I'd like to tell you that starting next week as well, we'll be reading out your emails, where the Football Everyday email of the week will win an exclusive premium thanks to Adidas, all right? So do drop us a line at football@thestar.com.my and make sure to include your full name, IC number, contact number, and address, okay? Sheps, Ian, pleasure as always. Have a good weekend of football.
Likewise, Nelson. Good luck to Man United.
Thanks, Matt. Well, Nelson here saying thanks for joining us. Till we see you next week, it's ciao from us here on Football Everyday.